chat. We do. There we go. Oh. Shit. It didn't update. There we go. All right, chat. It looks like we're now like ready to actually watch this stuff, huh? Problem is, what we're gonna do, guys, is let's hit play.
FaZe Clan just became the greatest team in the history of Siege by winning back-to-back 6 Invitationals, the most important $3 million tournament of the year that gets you a hammer as a trophy. That being said, they were not always that good. In fact, when they first assembled this roster in 2023, they were seen more as a team that would dominate domestically in the best region in the world, winning back-to-back Brazilian leagues, but never translating that to international results. And today, my friends, we are making a claim. We are making a claim that they transitioned from being a team that only dominated the best region in the world domestically and translated that into back-to-back international wins at SI by intentionally throwing matches. In a new type of video I'm calling hypothesis videos. Hypothesis. FaZe Clan won back-to-back SIs by throwing matches on purpose. By throwing matches, okay? Bang, bang, bang. Now, what is a hypothesis style video, you may ask? Well, I did a poll on my Discord. I used to pull up prepared. I used to have examples. I used to have exactly what I wanted to say in mind. But that took a lot of planning, and I have ADHD, and I go into paralysis when I do a lot of fucking planning.
I have
and
ADHD
people actually
too,
voted
so
for pull up
I
clues. We
get
figure
it.
out trends together. So instead of coming prepared, instead of having things on my mind, instead of doing things, I'm gonna figure it out on the spot. Fett, you're probably wondering. You're probably wondering, chat. You're probably wondering what is FaZe Clan intentionally throwing for? Okay, well let's talk about one thing first. Let's talk about what the map pool and map bans and how they work in competitive Siege. Okay, there is a rotating competitive map pool, so that means there's only at one time 9 maps that exist in the competitive map pool at a time. As of right now, that is Bank, Chalet,
Guys, I love Fett.
Consulate,
Fett is like
Clubhouse,
my favorite
Fortress
R6er.
Cafe,
He's very
Night Haven
knowledgeable.
Labs,
He knows what the fuck he's doing.
Neighborhood, what the fuck is that?
He knows
Layer
everything
and border.
about
All right,
all the
that's
maps, the
nine
game
map
sense.
pool.
He's got
now,
it, man.
When
He's got
a
it.
map ban
If you don't know who
happens,
Fett is, look him
the
up.
order depends on how
He's a
many
Siege
maps
god.
you're going to play. If you are going to play a best of one, the map ban is going to be, let's say this is you, this is your opponent, you flip a coin to see who bans first, who gets side choice at the very end. It's going to be ban, 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 and then there's a map at the very end, and that's a decider, okay? That is a best of one, right? Now you see that you have 4 bans, essentially, every time. So if you played best of ones and you had a map pool of 5, you could be pretty happy, because no matter what, you can ban 4 maps every single time. However, we live in a world where not
Do you
every
guys get what he's
single map
talking
ban,
about?
or not every single game of Siege is a best of one.
Hold on. You know what I want to do, guys? I'm going to restart this because
FaZe Clan just became the greatest team in the history of Siege by winning back-to-back 6 Invitationals, the most important $3 million tournament of the year that gets you a hammer as a trophy. That being said, they were not always that good. In fact, when they first assembled this roster in 2023, they were seen more as a team that would dominate domestically in the best region in the world, winning back-to-back Brazilian leagues, but never translating that to international results. And today, my friends, we are making a claim. We are making a claim that they transitioned from being a team that only dominated the best region in the world domestically and translated that into back-to-back international wins at SI by intentionally throwing matches. In a new type of video I'm calling hypothesis videos. Hypothesis. FaZe Clan won back-to-back SIs by throwing matches on purpose.
Oh,
By
well,
throwing
video app
matches,
is running.
okay?
Okay.
Bang, bang, bang. Now, what is a hypothesis style video, you may ask?
Oh.
Well, I did a poll on my Discord. I used to pull up prepared. I used to have
There we
examples.
go. Oh no! Shit, guys, I'm so sorry. Alright. Well, this is gonna go down just like this, and then we will. I'll rewind it so we can watch this from the beginning, because I want to know what he's saying. I really want to know what he's saying, you know? Like, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, Pupper, stop crying, baby. Okay.
Just became the greatest team in the history of Siege by winning back-to-back 6 invitationals, the most important $3 million tournament of the year that gets you a hammer as a trophy. That being said, they were not always that good.
I love Fett's
when
cats,
they
man.
first assembled this roster in
He's a cat
2023,
lover like
they were
that.
seen
Well,
more as a team
we're
that would
animal
dominate
lovers,
domestically
right?
in the
But
best
Fett
region in
loves
the
his
world, winning
cats, and I think
back-to-back
that's awesome.
Brazilian leagues, but never translating that to international results. And today, my friends, we are making a claim. We are making a claim that they transitioned from being a team that only dominated the best region in the world domestically and translated that into back-to-back international wins at SI by intentionally throwing matches. In a new type of video I'm calling hypothesis videos. Hypothesis. FaZe Clan won back-to-back SIs by throwing matches on purpose. By throwing matches. Okay? Bang, bang.
By throwing
bang.
matches.
Now,
let's see how this is possible.
Video, you may ask. Well, I did a poll on my Discord. I used to pull up prepared. I used to have examples. I used to have exactly what I wanted to say in mind. But that took a lot of planning. And I have ADHD, and I go into paralysis when I do a lot of fucking planning. And people actually voted for pull up clues. So we figure out.
I go into paralysis too. So I know what he's talking about.
Coming prepared, instead of having things on my mind, instead of doing things, I want to figure it out on the spot. Fett, you're probably wondering. You're probably wondering, chat. You're probably wondering what is FaZe Clan intentionally throwing for? Okay, well let's talk about one thing first. Let's talk about what the map pool and map bans and how they work in competitive Siege. Okay, there is a rotating competitive map pool, so that means there's only at one time 9 maps that exist in the competitive map pool at a time. As of right now, that is Bank, Chalet, Consulate, Clubhouse, Fortress, Cafe, Night Haven Labs. No, Neighborhood, what the fuck is that? Layer and Border. All right, that's 9 maps, 9 map pool. Now, when a map ban happens, the order depends on how many maps you're going to play. If you are going to play a best of 1, the map ban is going to be, let's say this is you, this is your opponent, you flip a coin to see who bans first, who gets side choice at the very end. It's going to be ban, 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 and then there's a map at the very end, and that's a decider, okay? That is a best of 1, right? Now, you see that you have 4 bans, essentially, every time. So if you played best of 1s and you had a map pool of 5, you could be pretty happy, because no matter what, you can ban 4 maps every single time. However, we live in a world where not every single map ban, or not every single game of Siege is a best of 1. Best of 3s, it's going to be ban, 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 and then pick, ban, ban, decider. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And there's 3 maps, right? So you get, realistically, if you had a 5 map pool now, you're fucked, because no matter what, you can only get 2 bans, and your opponent will now pick a map that you fucking blow dick at, which is bad. So for best of 3s, you need to have at least a 7 map pool. Now, best of 5 is where it gets interesting, right? Because in best of 5s, it all completely changes. In best of 5s, one, it depends on, if there's a winner bracket or a loser bracket, but in best of 5s, it's typically you get 1 ban each, then pick, ban again, pick, and then decider. Or if it's a winner's bracket, loser's bracket, and the opponent comes from the winner bracket, they just get to pick a map off the rip. Okay, they can just pick a map off the rip, call it a day, and no matter what, you won't be able to ban a map. Regardless, because of this, because of the structure of the bans, and because most of the time you'll be playing BO1s and BO3s, teams tend to have something called permabans. Yes, pro teams will have permabans because every map plays differently. That's how it is. Humanly speaking, when you form a team together at the beginning of your lifespan, for the first 6 months of your team, I know you think these guys are getting paid to play the game. Shouldn't they know how to play every map? You can know to play every map, but depending on your natural composition of players, some maps favor more aggressive entry styles. If your team plays a more aggressive style, you will be better on those maps. Some maps favor heavy tactics, slow, methodical strategies. Some maps favor nothing but rushes or nothing in between. Some maps favor stationary players, some maps favor motion, and because of that, your team will naturally be very, very good at a certain set of maps that play out stylistically a certain way, and very bad at a certain style of maps on the opposite side of the spectrum.
My stack has
so
that problem.
Teams, regardless of that, will have permanent.
There's some maps we just go in and we 0-4 the fuck out of people,
how
and
does
there's
this
other
relate
maps
to
where
phase and throwing matches?
hit or miss,
well, there's
man.
a very specific match that happened at their most recent Six Invitational win against G2 Esports. It happened on the last day of the group. G2 was in last place in their group. They needed to win against FaZe no matter what when they play on the last day
FaZe is on the top,
in order to get out of their group so that G2 wouldn't get grouped. That being said, FaZe was the best team in the group. This looked like such a fucking daunting task, except for the fact that you realize G2 kind of mollywopped FaZe at the end of the day, ended up getting out of the group. And they mollywopped them with a 7-0 on Layer, which was one of G2's best maps ever, which somehow they just led through the fucking ban phase. And then they proceeded to take G2 to Border, a map that G2, although banning a lot, has played a lot in the past. And FaZe, a lot of head scratchers on this one. This is a well-known documented fact that FaZe have historically permabanned Border and Chalet. Since 2023 to now, they have the highest ban percentages on Border and Chalet in the lifespan of their team. From the, 2024 to 2025 esports year, they had 90% ban
I want to find out this website. He said it once in one of his streams.
In this recent esports year, they had
and
an 80%
I didn't catch
ban
it.
on Border. So they just completely let their permaban through on a crucial game for G2, and they lost. And this is the game where, you know, all the fucking fanboys are like, well, G2 was the only team to beat FaZe all tournament, basically, and FaZe won, therefore G2 is the best team in the world. However, my hypothesis is that G2 were playing into FaZe's game. You see, going into play day 4, FaZe had nothing to lose. FaZe was first place. FaZe was first place in their group no matter what, no matter if they got 2-0'd by G2, if they got fucking spit on, shat on, railed, slapped across the face, pinned down, and fucked through the bed. FaZe would have been first group in that group no matter what, first seed no matter what. And so what did they do? They let their little permaban slip through the crack. They let their permaban slip through the cracks. And they fucking, in my opinion, almost lose on purpose. And you know how I know that's a real thing? Because in interviews, members of FaZe like KDS speak on the fact that, oh, like in that game against G2, we were kind of just testing maps. And they test maps that they know they're gonna lose on. This wouldn't be the first time FaZe just blatantly fucking threw a game essentially in the map pick phase just for funsies. You see, the entire time since the inception of FaZe, my hypothesis is that they've been throwing games and throwing games and throwing games and throwing games and throwing games just so they can develop this. Border wasn't the first map of the FaZe permabans that was like, start throwing it out there and start losing on it, you know. The first map they were doing that on was Chalet. Now here's where we start testing the hypothesis. Because in the very first stage of their inception, or year of their inception, they banned 17 times Chalet, 18 times Chalet, their most banned map, that wasn't Border. Border was actually banned 17 times. Now out of their plays, they went 2-4 on Border, and 2-1 on Chalet, which wasn't actually a bad record on Chalet. That being said, it was very well known that these were their weaker maps, and so at the end of the day, when they played in
Very
that
well, no, you know
fateful
what?
grand
And this is
final
why
against W7,
this is
the
why
most
Fett is a
viewed,
god,
most
because like
epic grand final of all time,
he gets
they
this
lost
stuff
on
and
Border in
get.
map 4 because obviously
Understand
their
this,
map
guys.
pool
We're
was
learning
weak. They were
together. This
the
is my
best
class time,
domestic
basically,
team
right? To learn
all year
Siege,
long. They
and I'm
won
doing it with you
Brazilian
guys.
leagues. They were
So,
the best team in their respective region. They're kind of like Gen G and
but
League
he
of
knows
Legends. They keep
so
winning
much
in
about
Korea,
Siege that
the Korea of Siege, and they just keep falling short at these events like Copenhagen. This is wow. I'm proving myself right now. Hypothesis-driven video. Chalet Border. The game that they lost out of Copenhagen, limited by Liquid, was on Chalet and Border. Their two weakest maps. Their two highest ban rate maps. They got fucked by Liquid. And I'm sure after this, when they stopped letting the maps up, right? And they started banning out Border at Chalet. At some point, they start just auto-banning Chalet. Yeah, Chalet banned first here. Border banned first here. Not banned here, actually. I guess they let the other team ban it through.
something.
But regardless, at Atlanta, they got the
Rainbow
Border.
Six.
Again, right, they lost on Cafe, yes, but Border is another map
Set it
that's
down
just
at the bottom
a
of the
fucking
screen earlier.
chink in the armor. And it just fucking gets him out. Gets him fucking out. Border against SSG. Lost here. And then finally, again, Border fucking loses them a game in the 6th Invitation 2024. So obviously, they fucking blow out that map. And you could see this happen next year. You see the, like, look at this. They go from banning it
100%,
around 50% of the time this year to 90 to 80% of the time in the year following after that. So they suffered a heartbreaking defeat.
Like
6-1, comeback, BO5. But you know what? This year, there's a little bit something different. There's a little bit something different with these stats that I'm showing you from FaZe right now. Because this year, they didn't touch Border, right? Obviously not. Fuck that map. We don't want to see it. But there's something really, really interesting here. Is that 2-6 on Chalet. They brought out Chalet 8 times this year. Knowing that they blow fucking ass at this map. And this is when I started to notice something with FaZe. Is that they will basically always do this shit. They will always throw out, this year at least, I started to notice, FaZe will always just throw out a Chalet in a group stage where the stakes are low and they can afford to lose a game in the Swiss stage of a tournament, and when they can afford to lose a map, they will throw out a Chalet. They will throw out a Chalet. And they'll just fucking lose it. They'll lose it almost every single time, but they'll keep fucking doing it. They'll keep fucking doing it. And they'll just keep throwing it out over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. First of all, let's even see if it's true. Right? Oh, okay, yeah. Blast R6 Manchester Major 2024 playoffs. Best of 1. This is the Swiss stage of the tournament. In the very, very beginning of the tournament, despite the fact that going into this tournament, they had like a fucking high-ass ban rate on Border Chalet. The entire stage of Brazil League before that. Chalet Border. Again, Chalet Border ban. BO1, Chalet Border ban. This is Chalet Border ban. Again, first ban phase, Chalet Border. Again, Border Bank. I go Chalet again, right? Every single fucking BO1, they had a damn near, not against my BR. Fuck that team, I guess. What the hell? They damn near banned it every single game in their domestic stage. The very first game they play in group stages at the Manchester Major against Team Secret, they whip out the fucking Chalet and they get fucking smoked on it. They get fucking smoked on it. Let's see if the stats still exist for this game. They don't exist for the game. And then they go on to do the same thing again after that, right? At the Manchester Major. They banned Chalet Border again. They said, fuck it, I don't want to play it anymore. Chalet Border again. Fuck it, I don't want to play anymore. Chalet Border again. Fuck it, I don't want to play anymore. And then Chalet Border against us. We fucking beat them. But then, yeah. So then I think they start going back to their old thing, right? Oh, they bring in a Chalet. Real quick Chalet in the open qual. But this is against this is against kind of mid. This is an open qualifier in Brazil. So I won't really look too much into this. They win a Chalet OT against NIP, but they lose one to Fluxo. So these are Super Copa. They let it out again
qualifiers?
Because again, this is a tournament that they can afford, and they lose. They lose to MIBR.
Guys, if anybody knows,
so they lose
please
to
let me
Fluxo,
know.
They lose to MIBR, which are severely reputable Brazilian teams in the region, right? Or again, they lose here. They win against Cap. And then now it's EWC time. Let's see. They get 7-1 by Into the Breach on Chalet. Again, they just let it through. And they fucking lose. And then eventually, they realize, okay, we got to go back to banning Chalet Border again. Because they fucking suck at that map, right? But despite the fact that they know that they're like almost guaranteed to lose on the map, they keep throwing it out there. They keep throwing it out there, right? Like this is hypothesis being thrown in real time.
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app with Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
Impossible. Nina can't code. Interesting. Can it generate reports?
So we don't have to watch that crap. You know what? Probably record. Damn it! Sorry. Cat stepped on my controller or on my mouse. Ugh. You know what?
Super Copa de Brazil, that's Clubhouse, blah, 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 blah. They lost this map, one map, I don't know what map. Border Chalet again, Border Chalet and then, Border Chalet again. You see it every single time. Keep zooming on these, Dapper. I'm sorry to make you zoom on these. Border Chalet again. They don't touch it with a long fucking stick again. And my BR, for some reason, they keep it up against them. Border, and then, oops, let Chalet up. Guess what happens? You lose to NIP because you let Chalet up. So then fuck it, dude. We're not going to play it again. Border Chalet. Oh, actually banned by what? It'll be said. And this time, okay, whatever. Border Chalet ban. Stage 2. We'll go to Stage 2. Border Chalet ban. Border Chalet ban. Oh, never mind. Maybe not every single game. Border Chalet ban. All right. Layer. That's a layer lost. Bunch of BL1s. Damn near flawless Stage 2 again. Border Chalet ban. And these BL3s in the playoffs of Stage 2. We go to the Montreal Major. Now here, I don't think they actually take the chance this time. They actually don't throw out, but yeah, this is all Border Chalet in the ban phases and BO1s and BO3s, Border Chalet every single time, Border Chalet, but they end up losing to the eventual finalists of BDS. They go to this Brazilian play, Border Chalet, Chalet Border, Chalet, and they let Border through, and they fucking lose the CAG on it. But they beat them in the BO3 overall, and then Chalet Border again. 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 And then Chalet and the Border Chalet. And they just have a permaban all the way through the 6th Invitational 2025. And they actually managed to win the 6th Invitational 2025. Alright. But. So, a little wrench in my hypothesis. I thought that in year, let's do paint. Paint's better for this. I thought that year 1, that they would be Chalet Border fucking both bands always. And then I thought year 2 was when they would develop this map, right? Turns out they didn't. Turns out they tripled down on this map, okay? And then I thought year 2 they would develop it, and then I thought year 3 that they would do it for the other map too. So it turns out year 3 is when they started. Actually, it's year 2 they tripled down on the band. But still, you might be wondering, why do they throw out a little play of, you know, these permabans every single time, which is guaranteed loss? Well, here's the thing, is that you can play a map on practice as much as you want, but on game day, the map feels different. There's different on game day reps on the map. And FaZe is a high repetition team. They will play very good fundamental sieges. They don't really like to play very fancy, overly strategical or meta reads. They will add in a little here and there, but they tend to play just very solid fundamental siege. And for that reason, they're a high repetition based team. And so that's why they keep trying to add these maps into their map pool. And here comes this last year of play. All right. So reload. What happens? I think they're still banning Chalet and Border. I think they're still doing it for reload. Yeah, they don't really bring it out at reload. They lose Cafe to Furia and get knocked at the tournament. Whatever. In the stage, they're still banning Chalet Border.
Hey, were you home?
And they whip out a Chalet again. And this time, they beat Furia on Chalet in a BO1.
The boys
this time, they have trumped Furia, who no longer is like a Mickey Mouse Brazilian team. None of them are really Mickey Mouse.
I'm streaming,
but top Brazilian
not on
team
the
best in the
TikTok,
world at
but
Chalet.
everything
So
else,
that last year, they kept throwing it out, losing. This year, they throw it out, and they fucking win, right? And now they go back to double banning it. They keep it up this time around. They throw out a border too. They get fucking demolished on border against W7M, one of the best teams on border. But you see them, Chalet up against Furia. Now, they lost to BO3, right? Furia end up winning the stage, but they're willing to leave it up now. They're willing to leave it up now. That is going 6-1 in the offseason, absolutely. And I think, yeah, DZ banned it against them because they were willing to leave it against Furia twice. They putting it out against FearX at Esports World Cup, and they beat them on Chalet. G2 banned it against them now.
That's a genius.
Now they're confident on this map. And so,
I love this dude.
Layer,
I love
bank.
this baby.
Now Furia banned it against them in stage 2 of Pro League. So fast forward to stage 2. They banned it against W7M. They banned it against Los, Clubhouse Layer, Bank, Chalet. 8-7 against Liquid. 8-7 against Liquid. And basically that whole year of just fucking losing on Chalet completely pays off. Yes, they lose 8-7 against Furia here, but it's like they just keep throwing it at a wall, and they lose 7-4 to W7 here. Okay, whatever, that's fine. But those losses that we just talked about just now, that's, I think, every loss
he's saying
that they have incurred on Chalet this year. They win against Wildcard on Chalet. They
just pushed it the next year. They knew they were weak on it, so they just kept pushing it. Is what I'm thinking he's saying.
This is the last loss they take on Chalet. They get 7-2 by Falcons, but they win against Amadi on Chalet.
And then they go to year 3 and they fucking permaban that
W7M
shit,
on Chalet. In the Copa South America is not up here. They win against W7M again on the Chalet in SAL finals, and finally at the 6th Invitational, they beat Black Dragons on it. They beat Shopify Rebellion and Spoy on it. They beat D+ on it. And like they beat Flux with W7M on it. And it's just this weapon. It's just this weapon that they can use for the whole year, right? And I just want you guys to look at this win rate for Chalet at the end of this year. 13-3. They went from this map being their permaban to arguably being the best team in the world on this map. I mean, it is
really
so.
See,
right?
they
That's
pushed
their best
it.
win rate. Hold on, let me copy paste this into a sheet.
Pushed it on something
and
they didn't know.
Let me crunch the numbers. Let me crunch the
But
numbers.
it wasn't working well for
right. Hold on. Equals.
Don't
this
avoid
number
the shit
divided by this number,
you're not
and then I
good
go
at.
all the way down.
Hit it heavy and get
Chalet
better.
has the highest win-loss ratio, 4.33 win-loss. What's the win rate? Equals this number divided by sum of these numbers, and I drag this all the way down. And Chalet had a 81% win rate. Okay, they didn't lose Consulate, but like that's out of 8 plays. This map, disgusting for them. This map that was previously a fucking permaban, and they sucked at it, and they kept throwing it out and losing it the year before. 2-6 the year before. They just kept throwing it out and losing when they could, right? But
so they worked it.
There's one map that was still in their permaban pool, that was still high on the ban rate for the entire year.
So I need to find out the maps. I need to take a note and find out maps. I'm decent at maps I have problems with.
That's what I want to highlight on in the 6th Invitational.
And start working some, like, I don't know, maybe AI to start on those maps. Because you can't go into even like team deathmatch or anything and like, get the map you want. You're gonna
against
get
G2. A team
so
that didn't necessarily play border a lot,
those
wasn't
maps,
necessarily
those angles,
on border.
fuck with it.
Then they threw out border again against Falcons, which is like almost the equivalent of
border
G2.
I kind of like, but I feel like I need some work
right? They're
on
all
it. There's
top
some
3
peaks
EU
in there
team.
that...
They play a similar play style. They threw it out again.
At least when I play the PC pool.
During a group stage,
and guys, I am console. I'm console.
And everyone got hyped for
Xbox.
G2, blah, blah, blah,
I play with
but that's where they gain the confidence to play the map. They throw it against Wildcard. They take a 7-5 win. They throw it out against Falcons. They take a 5-7 loss, which is a similar result to G2. It's the same thing as yesterday. But then at this point, they go into grand finals and they leave border up. Border is part of the map pool. Yeah. And at this point, they've lost to G2 on border, which is one of the top 3 EU teams that has the same playstyle on border. They've lost to Falcons on border, which is another one of those top 3 EU teams. They have that same playstyle on border. And then they go against Team Secret, which is arguably that same archetype of EU team. And they win border to win the 6th Invitational. So, as a final testament to this hypothesis, I think I've got a bit of evidence, but as a final figure to my paper, as a final proof point to my thesis, I am going to review this first G2 game, and then I'm going to review maybe the Falcons game, but the secret game mainly to see if I see any adjustments that FaZe Clan made to their border in order to change that they learned from throwing away that match in the group stage to use in grand finals to win. Take some notes, chat. Let's take
Interesting
some notes.
concept that they would do that. See, this is what I'm talking about, right?
League legend. Why
You
not enjoy
guys,
it?
when oh shit, there we go. Oh, I left my little name thing over there. All right. Anyways, fuck was I just saying? ADHD, guys. Sorry, this commercial is whack. Let's back to some Fett.
All right, analysis complete.
All right.
In this first loss against
What?
G2, and honestly, in the second loss against Falcons, FaZe learned very, very valuable lessons on attack and defense in order to translate that into a win against Secret in the grand finals. So the main trends that they changed, we'll notice here, we'll start with attack. Okay, the first thing we have to understand when we think about attack on Border is that Border is a map with, hopefully, let me zoom out.
What?
Border's a map with two sides. Two sides of attack, okay? One is the Armory CC side of the map, which is a power spot, is top CC, and the other is going to be the east side of, the east side of the map, where the power spot is top east, and this fountain office area as the main stronghold of that side of the map. All right, FaZe start out against G2 with a very, very strong CC kill. But in CC, there's two safe places to play, right? You have your E-box position right here. This is the default one that most people in ranked know. You can sit here and not be exposed to the window and not be exposed to break door. And the other one is books. Same thing here, right? You're not exposed to a lot of things when you're sitting on this books position. You can sit here safe, and you can run out and contest your armory walk as that's happening. Okay, so that's exactly what FaZe are going to deny out. They fire out the books, they fire out E-box, and then they get KDS up on the CC window, and they hop in and they go for the entry. And this is the first time we see one of their default like takes, right? So KDS kills Alamau in the armory holes, and he's gonna go for a hop in here, kills another one. He gets a triple kill hopping into armory, and they succeed on this take. Now FaZe in the next round after this, they go for another CC kill, right? Onto a custom site, and then this round it's also quite successful. They ying out the people holding them from armory, and Vita King is using a shield. They're using it to just pressure and take into this side of the map. Again, you see them stack everyone on CC side. Now after this,
Revert too.
Now this round ends up being won by Stompin', just because Stompin' just
So
like
their shield
becomes literally God at the end here, and just shits on the enemy team. Okay, whatever. But then after this, Ramalho calls a timeout. It's fucking insane. And here it is. They go for an east take for the first time. East-sided take. And to be fair, this was completely on Ramalho's timeout. But this take fails. Right? So basically, they went for going for a rush. This is a typical ranked rush. We're used to seeing this. And because Ramalho calls to a zombie off this window, sprint by, and stop the planner, G2 win this round pretty fucking convincingly. Okay, but after that, FaZe, they go for CC kills. Okay, this time they fail because Stompa just kills everyone on it. They start going for plant down, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You get the point, right? There's two sides to take. That one, Stompa kills everyone. But then still, actually, they won this round. FaZe won this round. Okay. Sorry, hold on. Next round, FaZe go for another sort of CCI. So these holes that, you know, Armory uses to support them, they were going to sense off this, and they were going to walk at this guy, and they do end up walking in and taking control, and it's good for them. And they win this round off a CC take. Next round is Bathroom Tellers. So they go for East take. You see the players outside on, you know, East balcony, and they lose. All right, they lose. So they've lost 2 East side takes, and they're going back onto a CC side again. And this time, because they've spanned it so much, G2 is finally able to get a read. They do the same fires again. They do the same repellents. And honest to God, wait. I mean, they succeed in taking CC actually, but G2 are successful in trading it back just because they played against it so incredibly much, right? Going into grand finals, what do we notice happen with FaZe? FaZe, at this point, they also want to up the East takes. Let's already skip the second half, all right, because we're trying to connect the attacks directly here, all right? FaZe at this point, because they saw how G2 were able to adapt to the Armory take, despite the fact that it was successful on that CC entry side, and they lost on the multiple East takes they try to do, they start trying to force these East takes against Secret. Okay, so first round against Secret, they get the shield outside, they try to walk in East side, and they're basically just losing the gunfight. They get completely fucking slammed, and they get taken down, and the East take doesn't work out, and it's 5-2. We go again, and here again we have the shields outside of top East. This time for Team Secret, they get picked off the entries, but it actually is a more successful round for them. They're able to somehow convert this 3v2 with Case down into a win because I guess Secret can't sit still, and they manage to kill them across the top floor. Okay, but I don't know. 5-3. What the fuck is going on here? They're going for actually Armory side. No, okay. It's around round 8.
You're gonna do what?
Or round 9. Sorry. That they realized
just make the normal
those last 2 rounds, we got fucked on the East. Like, we won that last round by the skin of our teeth in the late round, even though it was a 2v3. But now, we want to start going for CC again. So this round, they start going for CC. And unfortunately for them, they are playing against the best CC player to ever exist. Now, CC is the most contested position in Siege Comp. And Noah is probably the best player to ever touch CC. I'll make a completely separate video on how Noah played this position perfectly, but they actually do succeed in the entry. Now, unfortunately for them, the mid to late round doesn't work out for them, but I think they figured out the entry that actually works out for them. And so now, starting from now, they do nothing but spam the CC take. This round, basically, they castled off and reinforced off East side, so they might as well just, you know, they might as well get a Hibana in and start breaking this pressure. At the same time that they're making this pressure, however, guess where the majority of bodies are for FaZe going? They pull over the clash from the side of Secret all the way over to look as if they think it's an East take. They think because that pressure is going down. Meanwhile, the entirety of FaZe clan is walking Armory, going for their comfort take, right? And so after all that commotion, Blitz hops in CC, and now they start going for their CC take. They start going for their tried and true CC take that works every single round. They win the entries, and they end up winning this round. Okay? Damn. Next round, again. Let's get the Deimos underneath. Let's get the 2 people. Literally look at the way they take fucking CC here. Look at the way they walk CC. They triple man fucking walk CC side. Again, let's just force this take over and over and over again. Against the best CC player. Like, against Noah. But they just keep forcing it over and over and over again. Nade on this guy books, forces a movement. Cyber kills the player, holding him from the holes, supporting his holes walk. And now it's Noah against a few players. Noah actually plays this like probably as best as you could possibly play this, but at the end of the day, FaZe have realized their bread and butter, right? They learned from that first game the entry that works out for them, the entry that doesn't work out for them. They tried it again against Secret because they wanted to add more flair into their playstyle, but they forced it. CC play works out, they win this round. Now, to push the match into overtime. What do they go for this time? Do we switch it up? Do we make that same, like, do we think about that G2 game? No, we don't give a fuck about the G2 game where they eventually read it. We will go the same play again. They bring out the Capitao. They would bring out the Grim. It's the same thing. They have this player in here. Here comes the Capitao.
What? CCTV? Is that? Oh,
here comes the
okay.
Capitals and
Yeah,
Grims now.
it's like
And
kind of a control
they fire
zone.
off books. They
I
fire
got you.
off that. Cyber gets a kill on the Mowgli. They kill or Cyber was kind of pushing east side, to be fair. But again, like, they don't even get the kill on this, and they just keep forcing it because they know that is the control they want to go for if they want to win. Now, to be fair, Cyber did get his entries through east side at this point, and so FaZe actually don't force the entry on CC side. But at the end of the day, this is still a take they do, and this take was so successful that it pushes them into overtime. Okay,
Nice.
and into overtime, what happens then? First round attack again. Deimos underneath. No east pressure. Deimos gets underneath, gets under CC to track the player inside of CC. They go for CC again and again and again and again. Noah even gets a kill off of it, but it doesn't matter. They don't give a fuck. They're gonna still go for it. They're still gonna force it. Like, they're still trying to shoot Noah and nade him from underneath. Then in the guy armory.
Interesting, dude.
Andy lurks up east. Cyber kills Noah. They get CC control, and then they low-key go for like a big flank. But you see the adjustment here. Like, regardless of what's happening in the mid round, this one's actually an Easter egg. Not gonna lie, this is just an insane clutch. Wait, no, he loses this. Oh wait, hold on. This next round, they actually go for something completely different on the bathroom side because, you know, they lost the last CC take they did. They just won like threes. They like basically did 4 CC takes in a row. They won 3 of them to get to overtime, and then they lost their first one. So they're like, okay, maybe we switch it up. Maybe it doesn't work anymore because Secret got a read on us. They go for an East direct take this time, and it just doesn't fucking work. They end up losing all the bodies, and they get into a 3v1, and they just lose the round trying to go for a direct onto the teller's bathroom side. And you know what? They're like, all right, fuck it. You know, fuck it. Doesn't matter anymore.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to open a
And they actually managed to win rounds back on defense to keep tying up the infinite overtime. And again, now 8-8. Faithfully, they go, despite getting opening picked and trading out with Adrian on whatever the fuck. I think that was, yeah. Oh yeah, Noah killed another. Dude, Secret, by the way, at this point have fully read that they want to go for CC. They have stacked up 2 players in CC together, and Adrian supporting him from the armory holes. And Noah is playing perfectly against it. Noah shits on him. KD trades back Adrian, but they still force it no matter what. And Cyber kills Savage, and Noah's forced to drop. And then they transition into a sight hit after doing a CC take, and that makes it just a really, really good round. And they end up bringing it to 9-8, which they will eventually win on defense. So you see how from that G2 game, they figured out that we are good at one entry, we are bad at the other, and they keep trying the others. And they just, you know what, fuck it. CC is just the way to go every single time. And we'll throw an East in there every once in a while. But almost every single time, we will go for CC. We will see with CC, that's bread and butter. And that works out every time. And they did it against Falcons too. I didn't want to show it because it'd be just way too many examples. But that is the general idea. I think they said it in an interview. Someone in my chat, from the Brazilian fans in my chat, said they said it in an interview somewhere on someone's stream. Yeah, that's adjustments. That's adjustments that wouldn't be made if you didn't play that map. Okay, what adjustments did they do on defense on the other side? Well, we can do this, like, kind of just purely statistically look at this. All right, against a G2 game, I will show you what happened. We get to the half switch, and right here, we're playing Armory. Cyber is playing on Mozzie. The main thing here is Cyber. Okay, Cyber has always been the X Factor player on FaZe. Everyone on the team plays default, fundamental, slow, methodical siege. Cyber plays like a fucking maniac, and that's why you can never predict FaZe at the end of the day, because they have a guy named Cyber. He's the reason the team exists. But Cyber has a bad habit on defense,
Man, I
on
don't
playing
know
these
if that's
X
gonna
free
be
positions, and on board
strong
it's a
enough
small enough map,
magnet
dude. No
to-
matter what, if you get droned out in these solo positions, you will die every single time. So Cyber, he's
hold my
downstairs
phone.
doing his solo freak shit. He gets pinged out, he gets hunted, and he's a free kill. All right, first round. Second
I
round.
don't think so.
Second round. Cyber's on solos.
Weird.
I think he's in customs. He gets aced out. He decides to not leave. Right? He makes the same mistake again. He overstays his welcome, and he goes back into customs instead of falling back with his team. And as a result of that, look at this. He just gets hunted. He overstays his welcome. The entire team, enemy team surrounds him, and he just gets fucking slammed, right? He dies. Again, he's just a free pick every single time. Next round after that. Cyber this time, again, forces his freak shit. This time, he's actually successful. He does a run out, and he gets the kill on the player repelling armory side. And this was actually a successful round for Cyber. But if we go to the next round again, Cyber's on Mozzie again for armory. Cyber immediately, let's see what happens to him. He's immediately dead in the beginning of the round. And 40 seconds into the round, he's first picked again as Mozzie downstairs, right? Now, against Falcons, just for the sake of time, I'm probably not going to show you, like, essentially what has happened every single round, but I'm going to let you basically make your conclusions. Falcons are 4-0 on FaZe Clan, and Cyber, doing his freak shit, dies first. And that's basically the tale of the fucking half for Cyber against Falcons. Okay? Is that he was always in these solo positions, and he always gets caught off and opening picked almost every single round against Falcons. But FaZe Clan, they fucking learned from that shit. So this time, going into the match against Secret on Grand Finals, they did it against G2, they get it against Falcons. Cyber this time is on Oryx. Why is he on Oryx? He's on Oryx so that he can hop up the fucking hatch. He can do his below fucking shenanigans, and then at the end of the day, he can shoot drones, he could do whatever, he could like waste time underneath, he could do whatever the fuck he wants to do, but at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, and he's fucking fucked, he actually has a way to get up, because he can hop up this hatch. And that's exactly what he does. So you'll see this time against Secret, he's actually staying alive well into the round, into the late round, until the actual gunfights happen.
I might play Oryx a little bit
they're
more.
not winning every round.
That
It's a
whole
close match.
hatch
They're still
hop
kind of like
is
nothing in the border. But kind of same thing here. He's playing
I just
more
don't ever
around.
play him because I don't see any
I don't
point
think
in
he
his-
actually ever changes playstyle
his
that
dash,
much for Vents. I think he kept it mostly the same there, but he's staying well alive into these rounds. This round, he's on Bandit. So he's not even playing the roam underneath this round, right? Against Falcons, he was playing the roam underneath. He would bring out the Vigil. He would get first picked. This round, he's playing Bandit. He's playing with his boys on site, and he's staying well alive into that late round. Again, the major adjustment for defense is Cyber. Legion, this one, he does kind of roam a little bit, but again, at the same kind of trend, he is not the first pick anymore. And 45 seconds left, he is still up alive again. Okay, and then I think customs Vents. Vents site. He kind of does the same thing, but the thing that does change is that he's not the first pick. Right, Souls is the first pick. Cyber ends up being in those gunfights in the later half of the round, and then this. I want you guys to remember this waiting room position now. Well, for what side is this? Armory again. This is no longer a solo armor underneath. Right, no more Oryx, even no more Vigil underneath, no more Mozzie like we've been seeing him do. We now see him playing in break room with his boys. He is now playing with recruit TCSG, like a fucking supportive operator kind of, with util on the board, and he's playing to help his boys out on this top 4 position in break room to hold the crossfire. So I want you guys to remember this, regardless of the result of this round, which they do end up losing. They go 4-6, but we go to infinite OT, and remember, like, 4 out of the 5 rounds that they won, or 3 out of the 4 rounds that they won to get to 10, to get to 10-8 to win the match, were on defense. This very first one, Cyber is on that again anchor position. He is 13-8. He is performing out of his mind, and he is alive in the second half of the round, and he is able to get a kill and do a fadeaway because he's playing with this team now. He is no longer going for their solo isolated roams. They go 7-7. They lose an attack round. Fuck it. We talked about it earlier. Now, Cyber, Vents. I mean, yeah, he never really changed much, honest to God, the way he played Vents. If anything, he got, like, yeah, he just never really changed. He was a side player for Vents, like, kind of like the proxy side player on bottom main, so that actually never changed. Then they went 9-10, or 9-8, and now Cyber, he's on the Malusi. He starts off in offices. He has, you know, Mel's with his team. The other rounds that he was playing Bathroom Tellers, he was the solo roamer inside of customs almost every single time. That's where he got hunted by G2. But now he's upstairs with his teammates, playing with them. And in this fateful round, regardless of the fact that Secret did get 2 like opening kit picks onto FaZe, they got +2 man advantage. They got +2 man advantage. Cyber's still up with this team, right? 17 kills, 17 kills. A lot of kills on the board. He's still up on the team, and because he's still up on the team, he gets to bring value. And he's still up top in break room in that fateful position, and he's able to just eat up top floor. And he's able to get that final kill right here against June, despite the fact that Secret had a 5-8-3. So they adjusted. Cyber was always at the team, and they win the 6th Invitational back to fucking back, cementing themselves as the greatest player in the world, or sorry, greatest team in the history of the fucking game. Vita King probably has to run off to go use the, I think he has to go run off to use the bathroom right here. Yeah, he runs off to go use the bathroom. This motherfucker needs to pee. But regardless,
he's like, I gotta pee bad.
Right, attack, CC takes. They figured that out through reps and reps and reps on game day. They didn't figure it out all in one game, but they did reps and reps and reps. Same with the Cyber on the solo robe, right? They figured out to bring him closer to the team on a map that they fucking sucked at, that they fucking lost throughout the entire course of the year, basically, and permaban on an 80% rate. Over the course of the years, FaZe took their 2 permabans, turned one of them into the best map in their map pool, became the best team in the world at Chalet, and during the course of the most important tournament of the year, spammed border, starting with this G2 game that didn't really matter. They threw it out there, they lost the game, they had basically intentionally threw the game, and then they brought it against Wildcard, brought it against Falcons, brought it against Secret, and they finally achieved that dub against Secret, and they fucking won the World Championship. There you go. That's how FaZe bashed their heads against their permabans, basically threw matches on purpose over and over and over until they practiced the maps enough and got good enough of them. Holy shit.
Nice. Good job. Love it. All right.